So let's jump right in. Today, how to use fitness to increase your performance, your productivity at work, in your relationships, in your sex life, and all the things that you do. And today we're going to talk about why most people fail. Like why most people fail at this, right? You can Google all this stuff, right? Why do you walk around the street? You go to the pool, the beach, anywhere, the grocery store, you walk around and people are obese. They're not in good shape. They don't look good. Their performance sucks. They're miserable, right? The big mistake people make, the 3 C's of success in fitness to create that increase in performance and productivity, what it can do for you. What does increasing your fitness and your health and your wellness do for you, and how do you do it, right? How do you actually do it? Obviously, this is all really, really important. So, I just want to be very, very clear as I want to be extremely clear about this. Okay? This is only for people who are want to be in the top 1%. If you just want to lose 5 pounds, if you just want to lose 10 pounds, it's not going to work for you. These are people who want to be in the top 1% and who are absolutely relentless, just relentless, right, to get to this end result, right? We're going to talk about the commitments you need to make and all those type of things, but it's really, really important that you're coming from that perspective, okay? And over the next few weeks, we're going to kind of break down how this increases your performance, your productivity, your happiness levels, your mental toughness, your relationships, and on and on and on, right? So let's jump right into this. All right. Number 1, you are set up to fail. If you're married, okay, if you're married, this was really interesting. We work with a lot of executives and leaders and business owners, and we're finding that if you're married, and I'm realizing this as I have a daughter, and if you're married and a partner, if you're married, it is very, very hard to get into relentless shape, to get into the top 1%. And the reason being is because, you have a partner who, it's easier to just be comfortable, and then they're saying like they don't want to go as hard, so they don't want you to go as hard, and they don't want you to be the most jacked dude, or you don't want or if you're a girl, your husband might not want you to be the most hot chick, right? And so when you're single, it's easy. Like if you go to the gym and the people who are doing like the selfies and all that BS in the mirror, these people are typically single. And so it's really easy, right, to be like motivated in fitness when you're single. It's very challenging when you're married. It's very challenging when you're successful. It's very challenging when you have money, right? It's very challenging when you're always going on vacations and, you're going out to great dinners and eating steaks and all of those type of things. It's very hard, right? So this is specifically for people. If you're married, for people who are not single, but this is also for people who are single who have no idea what they're doing, right? So really, really important. So stay tuned into this. So here's the deal. Here's the big mistake that most people make. Listen to me closely on this. Big mistake. The problem is people don't treat fitness or health or wellness, whatever you want to say, like they do their business. They don't do it with intention, right? They'll do like these we run these, so we run challenges, so there's nothing against them, but they do them as if that's all they need to do is the challenge. No, right? They don't adjust their mentality. They don't actually learn the skills and develop the habits. It's just a quick thing. I lose a bunch of weight. Boom, it's over. This is the biggest mistake people make. They don't look at their health as increasing their performance and their productivity. And so they don't do anything with intention. Like a lot of people that we work with go to the gym, they sweat, they work out, they do those things, but there's no intention involved. There's no end result involved. There's no goals involved. So they're just kind of like in a hamster wheel, just spinning. And then they wonder why they're not getting results. And then they're not wondering why their mentality isn't better. Their mindset isn't better. Their performance at work isn't better. It's because they're not treating it with their intentions. They're not doing it relentlessly, right? Because if you look at life, there's 3 components and then tons of components inside, and that's health, wealth, and relationships, right? And obviously health, if you want to build wealth, is critical. Now, you can go stints in short periods of time without doing it, but in the long run, you're screwing yourself over, right? And then to add to this, just because we talk to so many people, they're always looking for the magic pill, the Peloton, the Orange Theories, the F45s, all these garbage programs. And the next, there's this new thing now that comes off the wall. And if you're on Facebook, you've seen it. And there's like this video thing and you push this thing. Look, this shit has been around forever. Like forever, right? Like, remember Bowflex, Shake Weight, like all those things. They don't, they might have short effects, but they're not going to give you the result that you want in the long term because you're not changing. You have to change. Just like in business. If you want to go from making 5,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 to 200 to 300 to $1 million a month, you have to become a different person. And that you might be like, Richie, I can't even fathom doing that. Well, that's because you haven't decided that that's something you can do. And it's the same thing in fitness. You have to change up here in order to change here. But the thing is, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. If you change your physiology, then you can change your performance, your productivity, your health, your wealth, your relationships, all of those things. Like if your sex life isn't good, it could be because your relationship isn't very good, but it can also be because your sex life sucks, right? If you want to improve your sex life, you got to look better, right? If you want to look better, you're going to feel better. And then obviously your performance, right? So there's no magic pill. And that's the big mistake people make. It's not rocket science. Listen, we've been doing this and making massive impacts in people's lives, and none of us have a PhD. Now, do we get information from people that have a PhD? Hell yes. But none of us have it because it's not rocket science. Right? So that's the big mistake. So what do you need to be successful in health? What do you need? There's 4 pillars. There's 4 pillars you must have: fitness, nutrition, accountability, and mental toughness. And this is the big thing. Like, a lot of people go to CrossFit. I used to own one. All right. I get it. And 5 to 10% of people can get results, and it will increase their performance and their productivity at work. All that. Yes, 100%. The problem is that there's only a very small percentage of people, and it's because they seek these other things outside because they want it so bad. But the majority of people don't, or they can't. Or if you're successful and you're spending so much time at work, then you don't have the time, right? But you have to have fitness. You have to have the right workouts, right? And we're going to break these down. You have to have the right workouts, for you. You have to do it in phases. You have to do all the right things. You have to eat right, right? There's some people that are like, they come in and they're like, hey, I want to look like, I don't know, an NFL player, or like, what was that movie? 300. They're like, oh, I want to look like 300. The guys from 300. And they're like, I'm like, okay, cool. Do you have any idea, like, anything about how much you're eating, how much? Because this is massive to what you're going to do at work. And they're like, oh, I have no idea. Have you ever weighed your food? No. Okay. Well, then you're never going to even come close, right? You're never going to come close. And we're going to break that down. The third one is accountability, right? And I'm going to break down what actually is accountability, because I've had to have this conversation with a few different people recently, and I'm glad we're bringing this up because people have no idea what accountability actually is. And so I'm going to make that very, very clear. And number 4, you have to develop the soft skills around mental toughness, right? You just have to. There's no way around it. You have to change. You have to do it for you, and you have to build the mental toughness skills. If you don't, you will never have success. You'll never have success in fitness. You'll never have success in wealth, and maybe you will, but it'll be short stints. It'll never be long-term success until you change, until you do it for you, right? The reason I bring that up is because we had somebody, and you can tell he was doing it for other people, which is somewhat okay. But it was all about keeping up with the Joneses. And you're making a big mistake if you're doing it to keep up with the Joneses or whatever, however that goes. A massive mistake. Massive mistake. It's got to be for you, right? And I think that's something that we've really gotten good at as a team, is helping people understand that it has to be about you, and helping people see that. And so let's break down the 3 C's to success. All right. And then I'm going to break down those 4 for you. There's 3 C's to success that you must have. Okay. And these 3's are, the C's are commitments. All right. You must make 3 commitments to yourself in order to get the result that you want. All right. We're going to say in fitness to increase productivity, because we're going to talk about all the effects that it has on you. Okay. The 3 C's, the 3 commitments you must make, is a commitment to avoiding some sort of pain in your life. Okay? If you want to get into the best shape of your life, I mean, I'm talking about the 1%. The 1%. Okay? You have to make a commitment to avoiding some sort of pain. Okay? And that pain could be, like we recently did a little family gathering at this beach, and I have to say I felt good. I took off my shirt. I felt good. But I would say 90% of the dads there didn't. They didn't. And to me, that would be painful, because I've been there before. There was a point when I let go a long time ago. I'll share, maybe one day I'll share that. But I let go a long time ago, and I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I know a lot of people didn't. So you have to commit to avoiding some sort of pain. And that pain could be, I don't want my kids to see that I look like shit. I just don't. I want to be able to walk into a business meeting and look good and feel good. And I think a lot of people don't do that. So you have to commit to avoiding some sort of pain, number 1. Number 2, very, very important. You have to commit to the process, right? Everybody wants the end result, but nobody's willing to do the work and commit to the actual process. Now, I'm going to share with you today, step by step, the process, but you have to commit. So number 1, commit to avoiding the pain. Number 2, you have to commit to the process. And number 3, you have to commit to the outcome. What is the outcome for you? And that outcome has to be so grand that you can visualize it, that you can feel it. I promise you, the outcome is not to lose 10 pounds. It's not to lose 20 pounds. It's not to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds. It's not to gain 10 pounds. That's not the outcome. The outcome is to look at for most, is to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm the badass that I was before. When you can look at yourself in the mirror and you can say, I'm a badass. I look good. I feel good. Okay? And then whatever that outcome can do for you, like, oh, now I can play college sports. I can play professional sports. I can have better sex. I can be more active with my kids. That's the outcome, right? Everyone wants joy, right? We could say happiness, but everybody wants joy. But what's the outcome? How do we get to that outcome? But before we get to that, you have to commit to it. So you have to commit to avoiding a pain. You have to commit to the process or forget it. And you have to commit to the outcome. And now, the outcome and the pain, the importance of committing to that is because this shit's going to get hard. It's going to get really hard. You're going to hit walls. You're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to not feel like it. And if you don't commit to those 2 things, forget it. And if you don't commit to the process, which is where most people fail, then you're never going to do the actual work necessary to achieve the end result, right? And that's why when you walk around the grocery store, the pool, the beach, anywhere you want to go, people don't look good. They just don't. They don't look good, right? And maybe they're having lots of success and work and that, but they look like shit and they feel like it too, right? So what can it do for you? What can it do for you? Like, what can being in good shape, elite, like top 1%, relentless, however you want to word it, shape. Number one, it gives you more energy. Number two, the afternoon fatigue, man, I used to get that bad. And I battled this thing between working out, overworking out, and not working out. I'm going to share with you just the sweet spot that I've learned. It took me 15 years, by the way. But it improves your mental capacity, right? Like, it absolutely improves mental capacity, gets rid of brain fog, reduces stress. Your sleep quality improves drastically. I mean, you're tired as hell when you're going to bed, right? Your exercise, your energy capacity. So when you're exercising, when I say exercise, I don't mean just exercise. I mean pushing your limits. You have to just like in business, you push your limits. You have to do that in health, right? You do it in wealth. I know you're doing it in wealth, but you ain't doing it in health. You have to do it, right? Your energy capacity increases when you do that. All right, and for all my science people, because we do know the science, I literally I have to read it because I'm not like a scientist or a PhD or whatever. We use it, but I'm just not it. So exercise ensures proper brain function in the hippocampus region, okay? It keeps blood glucose and oxygen levels high, feeding the brain. It releases endorphins into the body, giving your mood a boost. It is also shown to change the size of the area of the brain involved in memory and learning, okay? So it does a lot, all right, for all my sciencers out there. It does a lot, like a lot. So if you're not improving and intentionally working on your fitness, you're crushing your wealth. You're crushing your relationships. The potential that you have in those, you're just crushing them, right? So I'm going to break down with you the Relentless Warrior system so you can know how to do this, okay? And I know we're tight on time, so how to actually do this. I know people don't share. I'm going to show you how to do this. Number one, you have to attack this in phases, okay? So there's a period of time when I was between the ages of 27, 28, 29. I'm in my mid-30s now. When I thought I needed to be at 7% body fat all the time. Okay, I was miserable. All right. I have some friends. Some of you may be on here right now that knew me during that time, and I was miserable. Like literally miserable. Okay, you can't. It's unsustainable. It's unhealthy. It doesn't. I feel my best actually at around 12% body fat, 13% body fat, where I thought I always needed to be at 8%, and the difference in the way that I look is not that much. I just feel better. I actually look better in clothes when I'm more like 13, 14%. Just because I'm a smaller dude, as you know. I'm 5'7", 150 pounds. But if I'm like 154, 155, I actually look a little bit better in clothes. And so there's phases, right? And so these phases may be like during the winter, like, look, it's the holidays. Like, I'll eat a little bit more. I still watch. I'm not, like, insane, but I'll watch what I eat, but I'll eat a little bit more. I'll work out more heavy and less cardio-centric workouts, less high-intensity functional fitness workouts, and more muscle-building, strength-building workouts, okay? And then, like, during the spring and this time, I'm going to do much more high-intensity functional fitness. I'm also going to do strength-building, but not nearly as much, okay? So it's about phases. You can't keep something forever. Like, I mean, you could, but you'd be miserable. Like, you'd be absolutely miserable, right? And once you learn the game, it's so easy. It's really easy. At any moment, I can switch, and it's super easy. Now, it took me 15 years to figure this out. I went on a very, very strong journey from the age of 18 years old. So wait, that's 28. Yeah, I'm exactly 16 years through this journey. Okay, so I weighed my foods. I tried all of the diets out there. I've tried everything because I knew I had to do it in order to succeed when I was at Ole Miss, right? And then when I left Ole Miss and I was trying for the NFL, I was studying. So people who have a PhD may have that title. but I've worked with, at this point, thousands of people. And I've also went on such a strict journey with myself and learning the human body and how it adapts that, I mean, it's, I don't know. You can't touch it. So anyways, the fitness system, number 2. So we talked about phases, right? So number 2, the fitness system. Number 1, it has to be intentional. If you're just going to work out because, hey, I need to lift weights, hey, I need to do this, then you're never going to get results, right? Most people that we talk to, they do back one day, back and chest, tries and buys, whatever that even means. Or they do group fitness, or they do Peloton, or whatever, Orange Theory. They put this heart rate monitor on and all this stuff that they don't need. And but there's no intention behind it. Like, you build your wealth, you learn how to build a business, or learn how to cold call, or learn how to become a top salesperson, and you do that with massive intention, but you go to the gym and you just sweat and do nothing, or your group classes and you do nothing, right? So you have to have very, very strong intentions as to what the end result is that you're looking for. And I work out no more than 3 to 4 days maximum. A lot of people that never will ever see the results that I see work out twice as many as I do. There's people that are like, oh, I go to the gym like 6 days a week. I'm like, you're crazy, dude. Your body can't recover. It's stupid. It's literally stupid. We can't stop it. Like at our facility, I have tried to avoid people coming more than 3 days a week, unless they're working on specialty stuff. Then that's different. Or for example, when I'm in the cardio stages, I may do high intensity functional fitness, which is 3 days a week, and then I'll do some strength building, which is 2, but I'll do them on the same day. So I'm not going more than 3 to 4 days, right? So so you need the right workouts for you, for whatever your end result is. And then another thing you can easily do here that really, really helps is walk at least like 10,000 steps a day. Do not sit at your desk all day. Like obviously there's tons of science behind that. It makes total sense, but don't sit at your desk all day. Like this right here is a standing desk. You can go on Amazon and buy one for like a couple $100. Put it at work, put it at home, wherever you are. But this goes up and down. You know, it's not the electric kind. That's why it's only a couple $100, and it works great, right? So you burn 60 calories an hour by standing, more per hour by standing than by sitting. So there you go. All right, number 10, nutrition. The nutrition system. Listen, you can Google meal plans, you can do all that kind of stuff. But until you make the decision that you're going to understand nutrition and have the right coaching and even just start weighing your food just to get it in your mind of understanding. Let me share something, a trick with you, okay? The way that these scales work is you put your plate on the scale, okay? You put the plate on the scale, then you hit a button, and the scale goes to 0, okay? So then you put a piece of chicken on there, and it's 4 ounces, and then you click a button, and it goes to 0, and then you can put as much carbs as you want, and then it goes to 0, and then you put as much fat as you. It's very simple. It's actually very easy. Very easy. Like, people overcomplicate everything, right? But you need to have some sort of nutrition plan for you, for the end result, right? If you're going to the gym and you don't have a nutrition plan, forget it. You're wasting your time, right? Oh, well, I'm going to the gym, I'm working out, I'm feeling good. But you'll see the people that do this, they look the same like 80 years later. I don't know, that's exaggeration, 10 years later. They look exactly the same, right? They never change. So you have to have the right meal plan, right? That little nutrition tip should be enough to get you at least the ball rolling, right? The ball rolling. But I highly suggest getting a meal that's specific for you. Look, you want to have more energy and feel good at work and be able to drive more and call more clients and visit more clients and do it. You got to eat good. Nutrition is just fuel, right? The problem is in America, we use it as a pleasure point. It's not a pleasure point. You should enjoy it, but it's not a pleasure point, okay? Really important. It's fuel for your body. It's fuel, all right? Number 3, the Relentless Accountability System. Okay, so I want to be very clear on what accountability is. Very, very clear. This is not somebody making sure that you do shit every day, right? If you need somebody to make sure you're doing something every day, then you are then you're never gonna win. Then we need to have way different conversations. Then you don't care about performance and productivity and wealth, and you don't care. All right? This is not about making sure you do stuff every day. Accountability is holding you, right, accountable to the decisions that you made previously. So if we meet once a month, once a week, every two, whenever you meet with your accountability coach, then it's about what did you do last week, and I'm going to hold you accountable to those decisions, and then how do we plan for the future, and then I'm going to hold you accountable to those. That's accountability. Okay, it's not like, hey, did you do this every day? Did you do that every? That's not accountability. It's not. And people expect that. And I'm like, I'll just tell you right now, we don't work with people like that because they're not going to get the result. They're going to waste their time, our time, their funds, everything. Like, you have to want it. You have to do the work, and then we're going to hold you accountable to the things that you did and make them better, right? Because we're not perfect. But you got to have accountability. You got to have someone holding you accountable to what you're doing with nutrition and fitness and mindset, which is the last one, and that's your mental toughness system. And that should be attending the group coaching calls. That should be attending the live webinars. All of you are here, right? What's up, Siobhan? What's up, Ishmael? What's up, Sarah? What's up, Mr. Martin? What's up, Henry? What's going on, Jonathan and Mohammed and Kara? What's going on, guys? I know we jumped right into it, and I got a lot to cover today. I appreciate all of you guys being here today. Listen, if you don't have a mental toughness in place, if you don't own your mind, you're in trouble. If you're not a part of the community, you're in trouble. If you're not attending the webinars every Monday, like you should, and then it's feeding your brain every day. It's every day. We're releasing a new video series that we're going to have for you every day. Every single day. You have to feed your mind every single day. You have to be a part of the community, ask questions, be on the group coaching calls. Like, you have to change your mind. Not like on the decisions, but change up here. And change here before you can get the result. And if you don't have a mental toughness system in place, if you're not developing the skills, even attending this is like the people that, man, I know people that have read every book, they attend every seminar, they do everything, like, and then they just keep reading. They just keep learning. They know like 25,000 times more than me and have 1/8 the business. And that you might know people who are 10 times smarter than you, and you're like, whoa, I'm way ahead. Or you may know this, and this is what hurts me. It crushes me all the time. Someone you know is not nearly as smart as you, but is way ahead of you, right? That's because they think differently, right? They do things differently, and they know certain things differently that you don't, right? It's frustrating. I feel that way all the time. I'm like, dang, that guy knows I'm so much better, right? And you may be saying that too, right? You got to learn the right skills, got to be about a part of the right community, and you have to own your mind and make a decision. I'm going to own my mind. And if you're not attending, especially the group coaching, like that is where you own your mind. That is where you develop the skills. Okay? So my challenge for you this week, is to write down your 3 commitments. Like, if you haven't written those down yet, I would seriously write those down. Here are the 3 commitments that you got to write down. What's the pain you're trying to avoid? The commitment to the process, that you're going to do the process. And the commitment to the outcome. What's the outcome for you? I gave you examples of outcomes. What is the outcome for you? And how important is that to you? Because that's what's going to increase your productivity and your performance. I'm going to challenge you to walk 10,000 steps a day. Hey, that's not very hard. Hey, if you have an iPhone, I don't know about Android. I'm sure there's a very simple app, but I do have an iPhone and it tracks that. You don't need a Fitbit and all this. You already have it. It's in your pocket, right? Get on a workout routine that's for you. Like, get on one that's for you. Very important. Get on a nutrition plan for you. Get on a nutrition plan for you. You have to. You have to do that. Have someone hold you accountable. Feed your mind every day, throughout the day. Every day I'm feeding my mind. And probably the next one we're going to talk about a morning plan. But feed your mind every single day. And if you do this, you will definitely see results. Like, you will. You will absolutely see results. Now, I know I'm already working with some of you, and over the past 6 months, we're growing at an insane level, especially as we begin working more and more with companies. Look, if you want help with this, we're here to help you with this, number one. All right? Number two, if you're going at this, like, start with the 3 commitments and go all in with them. Go all in with them. You have to. You have to. So, moving forward, you got the challenge. You know what you got to do. The question is, are you going to take relentless action? We say this every single week. Got to take relentless action for what it is that you want. You wouldn't be here if you wouldn't. You wouldn't be here if you would. So let's take relentless action this week. You go out and get what you deserve, man. I can't tell you how many people I talk to every single week, and they hold themselves back, and they create limitations on themselves. You got to reprogram your mind, man. You got to reprogram your mind. And you know what? If you have a coach that you're working with, and all of you should. If you have a coach that you're working with and they're not reprogramming your mind, then you're missing out. Then you're missing out big time. You got to have someone who's reprogramming your mind. You have to. So, let's take relentless action. Let's have an amazing week this week because you deserve it. And I will see all of you next Monday morning.